I'm Timotab, and today I'm going to solve SVS number 424, Oil and Water by Richard. This is another puzzle in Richard's long-running series of variant sudoku puzzles with different constraints. And this one is based on oil and water, which Blobs has done quite a few different puzzles around. So I'm looking forward to this. If you would like to try this for yourself, then it will be the first link in the description. Let's have a look at the rules. Okay, apply classic Sudoku rules. So we're going to place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every box. The small numbers in the upper left corner of each cage indicates the sum of the digits in that cage. Within each cage, all digits must be different. Okay, so those two digits are going to sum to 11. Those 5 digits will sum to 27, and this digit is not allowed to be the same as this digit. Each cage is either full of oil, even digits, full of water, odd digits, or a mix of both. Each row within a cage contains only one type of digits, oil or water. Oil floats on water, so even digits will always be in rows above odd digits in mixed cages. So, for example, let's see if I can think of a good... Yeah, let's choose this one. Maybe that this is water, which I'll give a blue color to, and these two were oil. Actually, I think I prefer yellow. So these two would be even digits. This would be an odd digit. Obviously, that doesn't actually work for that particular cage. And if I've got digits that are in the same row within the cage, they have to be the same type. Okay, I am going to restart the puzzle to reset the timer, and let's begin. Okay, first things first. 5-digit cages. Given that all the digits have to be different, the maximum number of even digits in a cage is 4. Therefore, the bottom row of any 5-digit cage, or cage that's 5 digits or more, must be odd, at least the bottom row. So that's going to be water. That's going to be water. Next. Can this be all even digits? Well, no, because the even digits are 2, 4, 6, and 8, and they add up to 20, but this does not add up to 20. So I can't fill it completely with even digits, with the oil, so I need to put some, at least some water in there. So let's do that. Okay. This 7 cage, it needs at least one odd digit. In fact, we know the composition of a 3-digit 7 cage, so we can go ahead and we can mark that one as water, those two as oil, and then we can place a 1 there, and a 2 and a 4 there. Can these two be water? Well, the 5 digits that make up water are 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9, and if we had all 5 of them, that would be 25. So clearly that can't be water, so that must be oil. There we go. And likewise, we can now make the top of these X-pentominoes oil as well, because I need to have more than just water in there. Okay, this could be all oil, it could be all water. All right, a 3-digit A 3-cell odd cage must have at least one odd in it. It either has 1 odds or 3 odds. So all of my in fact, any cage that is odd has at least one odd digit in it, and we know that the odd digits start filling from the bottom. So all of these cages I can place water in. Now, this, and this one. These two must be even because an odd and an even makes an odd. These two could be both even or they could be both odd, but they have to be the same. Okay, these two digits, if they are both even, that sums to even. If they are both odd, that sums to odd. Sorry, that sums to even. So no matter what, those two are even, and an even plus an even makes an even. So this is an even digit and is therefore oil. Okay, this 27 cage, if these were water, then I would have 4 odd digits which sum to even, plus an even would make even, so that doesn't make sense. So these must be oil. And this 26 cage, if these were all oil, I would then have 4 even digits plus an odd digit, which would be an odd number. So these must be all odd. Now that's handy because I now have 5 odd digits in this row. So the rest of them must be even. There we go. And now, because oil floats on water, these two digits must be oil. That gives us all 4 of our even digits in this row, so we can mark those as odd. Those are 2 odd digits which make an even sum, so this one must be even and oil. Those two cannot be oil because if they were oil, they would I would have 5 even digits in the row. So those two must be water, and because oil floats on water, the entire cage must be water. Oh, could have figured some of that out a different way. I've got 4 even digits in this box, so that one must be an odd digit. I've got 4 even digits in this box, so those must all be odd. Okay, in this box, one of these is even and one of them is odd. That, no matter what, uses up the last even digit in this column, so those two must be odd. That's odd, this must be even. That's the last even in the column, so this is odd. I need 2 more for the box, 2 more evens for the box, so that's those two. I need 1 more even for the row. That's there. I have an even and an odd, which is currently summing to odd, so this must be even to fulfill the 15 cage. Okay. Right, I think I'm going to start putting in some numbers to see where we get to. Right, this sums to 20, so this must be a 7. This is missing a 6. The 4 digits would sum to 20, the 4 evens would sum to 20, but I only got 14, so that's 2, 4, 8. Two odds making 12 are either 7, 5 or 9, 3. Four odd digits to make 20 are 1, 3, 7, 9. But I can remove 7 from both of those, and I can remove 1 from that one by sudoku. I can do a bit more colouring. I've got 4 odd digits in this box, so those can't both be odd, so they must be even. That gives me all 4 evens for the row, so these must all be odd. This must be the even for the last even for the box. I've got all of my evens in column 9, so those are all odd. That makes this even. For this row, those two must be even. That's an even and an odd. 2 of those are even. Those are even. Those 2 are odd. That becomes even. Yeah, I don't think I can do much more on that for the moment. Right, this, however, is a 6 or an 8. This can't be 6 or 8, because if it was 6, this would be 8, and this would have to be 1, which it cannot be, and if it were 8, this would be 6. So this must be 2 or 4. So that gives us 8 with a 7, 10 with a 5, or 12 with a 3. This is 6 or 8. This is 6 or 8. I guess I might as well put in my 2, 4, 6, and 8. But 6 and 8 are definitely in those two. Or another way of saying it is this digit is the same as this digit. Okay. All right. Where next? Okay. Where does 1 go in this column? And it doesn't go there because that would need a 10. It doesn't go there because that would need a 10, and it can't go in either of those two, so that's a 1. So this is the only place for 1 in this cage, and that places a 1 there. And we get a 1 in one of those two. That can't be a 1, because that would have to be, well, can't be a 1 by sudoku, so I guess that's fairly evident then. Okay, this digit here, it can't be a 2 or a 4, because even at 4, that leaves me 18 to get in 2 digits, which I can't do, so that is 6 or 8. This can't be a 2, but it could be a 4, so that's 4, 6, or 8. 9 with 2 even digits is either 2, 4 with a 3 or 2, 6 with a 1. So that's 1 or 3. That's either 2, 4 or 2, 6, and there is definitely a 2 in there. So these are from 4, 6, and 8 only. So that is 7, 5, or 3. That is 1, 3, or 5. Right, can this be a 1? And the answer to that is no, because those two would have to be 23 and 2 digits. That can't be a 1. So one of those two is a 1, and that makes this a 1. So in this column, one of those two is 1, which means in this row, one of those two is 1, but if that's a 1, then that's 19 in 2 digits, which I cannot do. So that's a 1, that makes that a 1, and now I just have this X-wing on 1s to resolve. But I definitely do have a 1 in this 26 cage. Okay. If that were a 2, then that would leave 24 in 4 digits, which would mean leaving the 1 out of here. So that is not a 2. That's 4, 6, or 8. And therefore the 2 in this row must go into one of those 2, and so that's not a 2. Right, if this is 8, this is 2 odd digits making 10, which would be 3, 7, because I can't use the 1. If it's 6, it's 2 odd digits making 12, which would be 3, 9, or 5, 7. But it can't be 3, 9, because that would break that. So 3, 7 if this is 8, or 5, 7 if this is 6. And there is definitely a 7 in there. So that's from 3, 5, and 9, because it can't be 1 or 7. That's from 3, 5, and 9 as well. Let's just see what that gets. 26. Okay. So if that were 9 and 7, that would be 14. No, that would be 16. That were 9, 7. That would be 16, plus 8 would be 24, plus 2. Yeah, so that could work. Can 3 be in there? So 3 and 9 would be 12, plus 8 would be 20, plus 6. Yes. Okay. Okay. 2 is in one of those two, which gives me a virtual X-wing on 2s, so that is not a 2. In fact, this digit is the same as this digit, so that is not a 4 either. So that makes this 2 or 4, because I now have a 6-8 pair. We know that 2 is in one of those two, because of our virtual X-wing. So this is 4, 6, or 8. 8 plus 3, 6 plus 5, 4 plus 7. That gives me a 3, 5, 7 triple in the column, which makes that 9. That becomes a 3. That's a 7, 9 pair. That is a 3, 5 pair. So if this is 3, those are 2 even digits adding to 16, which I can't do because 8 and 6 is 14. So that must be 5, that must be 3, and now I need 2 even digits adding to 14, which are 8 and 6. So this is 2 or 4 by Sudoku. Okay. So now 3, wait, those are not 3s. That's a 5, 7 pair. Those are not 5s, that's a 3, 9 pair, removing 3 from here. And my 3 option was 12, so I can't do 8, 4 anymore. 2, 8, 4, 6, or 2, 6. Okay. Okay, 8 is in one of those two because it's not there. So that is 2, 4, or 6. That's 3. That's 6. That's 2, 4, and 1, which doesn't add up to 9. So that can't be 3. And that can't be 6. If that's 1, no, if that's, yes, that's fine. If that's 5 and 4, that becomes 2, 6 with a 1. If that's 1 with an 8, that becomes 3 with a 2, 4. Okay, if that's 4, that's 2, 6, and that's 8. If that's 8, that's 1, that's 3, that's 2, 4. That's 6. So that cannot be 4. Is that right? Is that what I'm figuring out? Right, if this is 4, that's 8, that's 1, that's 2, 6, and that's 1. Yes, that can't be a 4. So that can't be 7. So now I have a 1, 3, 5 triple in the row. So that is 7 or 9. So that puts 5 in one of these two by sudoku. So now we have 6 in here, and we need 2 more odds and an even to add up to 20. Not seeing that just yet. Right, this is from 5, 7, and 9. So if that was 7, 9, that would be 16. That would need 6. If this were 5, 7, that would be 12, and I couldn't get to 22. So 9 is definitely in one of those, so that's not a 9. So that's from 3, 5, or 7. So 3 plus 9, or with 5 or 7. So it's either 3, 9, or it's a 5, 7 pair. So that's 3, 9, that's 7, that's 5. That's 5, 7, that's 3, that's 9. Okay. One of those two is definitely a 5 because of our 1, 3, 5 triple. One of those two is definitely 5. That gives us an X-wing on 5s. So that is not 5, which means that, first of all, that is not 6. Secondly, it means that 5 is definitely in there, and that must go with a 7. So that's not 3 or 9. So that 5, 7 now makes that 3. That makes that 8. That 5, 7 makes that 9, and that 7. That 8 makes this a 6, and this a 6, and this is now a 2, 4 pair. That 4 looks down to make that 8, looks back up to make that 6, and 12 plus 6 is indeed the correct number. 8 plus 1 is 9, 6 plus 5 is 11. That is not 6, that is a 2, 4 pair. So 6 plus 3, and that matches our expectations. That 3 resolves this 9 and 3 here. We have a 2, 4 pair in this column, making this 6 or 8. And this is 6 or 8. this gives us 6, 8 pair in this column, making this 4. So these 4 digits add up to 22, which is 25 minus 3. So the missing digit, from this cage is a 3. So that's not a 3. One of these two is a 3. Okay. That is 7. That is 5. This must be 7, making this a 1. That is 5, 9 pair. That is 7. This is 5. And now I want 10 out of those two. And still I have all my options. But I get to put a 9 up here. 3 in this top row must be here by Sudoku. So we can now finally color that. That is a 2 or a 4. That means that this one is even and is a 2 or an 8, but it's not an 8 because of the 6, 8 pair, so that is a 2. This is one of each here. Where does 5 go in this row? Must go in one of those two. And there's definitely a 5 there, definitely a 5 in one of those 3, but in those two columns, definitely a 5 there. So we need a 5 in one of those two. One of those two is a 3. That's an 8 because of the box. So that is not 8. Right, that can't be 7 in this row, that can't be 7, so that is so that can't be a 3 because I'd need 10 to make that 20. So that is 5 or 9. 7 plus 5 is 12, needing an 8. 7 plus 9 is 16, needing a 4. So that is not 6. Now the only place for 6 in the row is here. That's 6. That's an 8. That gives me a 6 and an 8 up here. That's an 8. So I now need a 6 in this box, and the only place for it is there, so I can color that finally. That's a 7. This is the last even digit in the row, so those are both odd. That's the last odd digit in this column, so this is even. Okay, this 7 is looking up there. That is not a 7. Okay, we have a 26 cage minus the 8 that we already have makes that 18 in 3 digits. Hang on, that 4 makes that 2. That's a 4-8 pair. That's a 6. Okay, that's now 14. So I need 12 in 2 digits. So we have 3-9 or 5-7, but it can't be 5-7, so it must be 3-9. That makes that 5. That's 9. That's now 5. That is 3, resolving the 9 and the 3. That cannot be 9 in this column. So that is 9. Last place for a 9 in the column. That is now an even digit. This must be even and not 3. This must be 3 and odd. That is 4 or 8. This is a 2-6 pair. That 2-6 pair makes that 4. And that is 2. That is 12, so I need 8, which makes that 4 and that 8 and that 4. That's a 5-9 pair. This 2 gives me a 6 here and a 2 here. Those are not 6. That 8 means that's not 8, and that is. That 4 is looking up, giving me a 2 and a 4. That's going to resolve the rest of my even digits, I think. 4 there, 2 there. 2 is 4 and 2. Now just the odd digits to finish off. I've got a 6 there. That leaves me with 16, which must be 7, 9, which goes in that order. So that's 5. That's 9. That's 5, 7, and 5. And down here, 4 and 2. That was a delightful puzzle and a very nice tribute to the oil and water series that Blobs has done. So go check out some of Blobs' other puzzles and Richard's other puzzles. I will link to one of Blobs' oil and water puzzles on Logic Masters Germany and to Richard's puzzles there as well. If you enjoyed this puzzle, then please hit the like button. You can hit the subscribe button, and that way you'll see more souls of this type. And I would love to hear your comments. I'm looking forward to next time. Be seeing you.